Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name. And join me, folks. We're going over to the launch pad because it's time for, you know it,
6, 5,
liftoff. Let's go.
2, 1, 0.
Here we go, folks.
Ignition.
Buckle up.
Liftoff. Liftoff.
A buckle is part of a belt. Hebilla. Buckle up. Toma. Here we go. Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. And get ready for the ride of your life. The Show with No Name. It's Show with No Name time. On Vaughn Radio. It's the Show with No Name. Come on. Let's go. Welcome, amigos. Welcome, Show with No Namers. It's great to have you on board with us for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name, an interactive, energetic, informative English show where we learn not just how to understand English, but also, if you're paying attention, if you're following what I'm saying, then you are also learning how to speak, how to pronounce, how to put your words together. And if you love the way we teach here on Vaughn Radio, then you're going to love all our courses. And we've got something for everybody. Trust me. Whether you're just looking for private classes to work on conversation, just to make friends, or you're a big CEO. Remember, we don't say Theo, we say CEO. So whatever your English needs may be, we've got you covered, amigos. All you got to do is go over to grupovaughn.com/cursos destacados, and you can find out about our summer camps, our urban camps as well. You've got Vaughn Town, you've got Weekend Town, and don't forget, tons of deals right now at the Vaughn Tienda. It's vaughntienda.com, and you'll see, because World Book Day is right around the corner, well, we're going to celebrate in style with an awesome discount on some of our materials. Again, if you're looking for courses, it's grupovaughn.com/cursos destacados. If what you're looking for is materials, you're in luck, because we've got discounts going on now. That's vaughntienda.com. Folks, let's kick off with today's pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, folks. Welcome to our pop quiz, and this is coming straight out of one of our materials. I just mentioned Vaughn Tienda and vaughntienda.com. Remember, I've got 5 different books there, and I've participated on so many others, including the Disney collection, which, by the way, folks, I am off. I don't know if I told you this, or maybe I've told you. If not, here's a drum roll. Guess where I'm going this weekend with my family? And if you know me, you know I'm going to love this. Disneyland Paris, ladies and gentlemen. Disneyland Paris. My wife, I don't know if I told you guys about this. My wife won a trip. I never win anything. She wins, and we are off to Disneyland Paris. And that's great because it's linked to this week's question of the week, which, by the way, a nice round of applause for Chris in Chicago, Elena, Kubla, Nuria, Paco, and Chris Valrol. We're going to hear from all of them today on our question of the week, and they're going to tell us their take on thrill rides. And I think you guys know my take on thrill rides. I freaking love them. Roller coasters, Ferris wheels, bumper cars, you name it. My favorite, definitely coasters. Okay? Posavasos? Well, yeah, that's another. That could be a good double trouble. You're not supposed to bring any coasters on the coasters. All right. It's a goofy little joke, but if you can remember it, you're not supposed to bring any drinks or anything on rides. So just remember, just have an image in your head of you going on a coaster with a beer in your hand with a coaster. All right, so we're going to hear from you guys in a little bit. Right now, we're going to hear a little excerpt from the book Errores Comunes en Inglés. You can pick it up at the Von Tienda. Listen carefully, because afterwards, I'll have a challenge for you.
Pista 16. Error 9.
Jane's singer? No, Jane's a singer.
No es alumno, es profesor.
He's not a student, he's a teacher.
Mi vecina de al lado es camarera.
My next door neighbor is a waitress.
¿De verdad que tu hermano es político?
Is your brother really a politician?
El padre de Greg es fontanero y electricista.
Greg's dad's a plumber and an electrician.
Yo creo que Pam es muy buena abogada.
I think Pam's a very good lawyer.
¿Eres espía?
Are you a spy?
Soy comercial en RBA.
I'm a sales rep at RBA.
Kate no es ni escritora ni periodista.
Kate's neither a writer nor a journalist.
¿Te gustaría hacerte astronauta?
Would you like to become an astronaut?
¿La novia de Dan es ingeniera?
Is Dan's girlfriend an engineer?
Pista 17. Error 10.
You're okay? No. Are you okay?
¿Van a venir?
Are they going to come?
¿Es eso cierto?
Is that right?
¿Estás seguro?
Are you sure?
¿Los padres de Emma son buena gente?
Are Emma's parents good people?
¿Está listo todo el mundo?
Is everyone ready?
¿Esos son tus zapatos nuevos?
Are those your new shoes?
¿Hay bastante?
Is there enough?
¿Llego tarde?
Am I late?
¿Esto es amor?
Is this love?
¿Eso es todo?
Is that all?
Pista 18. Ejercicio 1.
Am I alive? Yes, I am. Am I speaking? Yes, I am. Am I a human being? Yes, I am. Am I speaking English? Yes, I am. Am I talking to myself? Yes, I am. Am I looking at myself in the mirror? Yes, I am.
¿Conoces Weekend Town? La nueva iniciativa de Vaughan.
Pues no.
Es un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés. Y es nuevísimo.
A ver, cuéntame más.
Tendrás una inmersión lingüística total durante 2 días. Un total de 24 horas hablando con angloparlantes de todo el mundo.
¡Wow! ¡Qué interesante!
Ganarás confianza y soltura a la hora de comunicarte en inglés. Mejorarás tu comprensión auditiva y tus habilidades conversacionales en una situación de comunicación real en inglés. Ven a Weekend Town y te sorprenderás con todo lo que puede avanzar tu inglés en un fin de semana. Weekend Town de Vaughan. Un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés. All right, amigos, more information about Weekend Town at grupovon.com/cursos destacados. All right, let's see. We're going to take a look at some common mistakes today, and I'm just going to make sure that you guys don't make these common mistakes. And if you do, well, today we are going to correct them once and for all. Look at that. The music comes on, that epic music, and my voice changes. We're going to correct them once and for all. I can't help it. Music has that effect on me. I know it has that effect on you guys as well. All right. We heard a few common mistakes. That's one I've always heard. I'm teacher. Nope. I'm a teacher. Right? I know you say, soy profe, soy astronauta. I'm an astronaut. All right, well, here we go. Here's your challenges. I'm going to give you 3 common mistakes, and let's see if you guys don't fall into this trap. These 3 traps that I'm going to set for you. The first one, I want you to use tomar medicina y tomar comida o bebida in the same sentence. A perfect example. Tengo que tomar algo antes de tomarme el antibiótico or whatever, el analgésico, whatever. You can be creative, but what I want you to use and show me that you know how to use is the tomar algo, comida, bebida, and tomar medicina. All right, that's number 1. You got to use them both in a sentence in context. I just gave you an idea, but remember, the more you personalize it, the better it's going to be for you. The next one, I want you to tell me, te voy a dar unos consejos. How would you tell me that? Te voy a dar unos consejos. All right, that's number 2. Unos consejos. We'll also take a look at the verb aconsejar, but don't worry about that yet. Okay, well, I want to focus on the noun. Te voy a dar unos consejos. That's number 2. And number 3, estoy acostumbrado a montarme en montañas rusas. Estoy acostumbrado a montarme en montañas rusas is number 3. So what am I doing here? I've highlighted a couple common mistakes, some mistakes that I've seen come up over and over again. And I've been teaching now for over 20 years, amigos. It's a long time. I see some pictures of myself and some videos of myself on Vaughn, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what a young whippersnapper. Whippersnapper. That means a little kid. It's also a name of a roller coaster, too. Interesting. All right, so let me give you the 3 things I want. The first one is usar tomar medicina and tomar comida bebida in the same sentence. Number 2, te voy a dar unos consejos, I want you to tell me. And number 3, to keep in line with what we're going to talk about in the question of the week, estoy acostumbrado a montarme en montañas rusas. And while you guys are thinking that through, did you know there's a new episode of FYI out? Oh, yeah, it's on teeth. Our chompers not only help us chew when we chow down on our favorite foods, but they also aid when we produce sounds and learn to speak. It's no secret that oral hygiene is a matter of utmost importance in almost every society. And even though we try and avoid it, we need to visit our dentists regularly for a checkup or a routine cleaning. And if you're lucky, you won't need a root canal. sit back, settle into your seat, and let the Novocaine kick in as we sink our teeth into teeth on this week's episode of FYI. Welcome to For Your Info.
En inglés.
You got it. Wow. All right. It's FYI. Brand new episode every Friday. This week, we're going to sink our teeth into teeth. Yeah, I think I'm funny. Well, hey, in case you didn't know the idiomatic expression, it's to sink your teeth into it. So I see a lot of you are sinking your teeth into today's pop quiz. Let's go on over to our chat room and we'll see who's in the house and ready to participate on this awesome day. The weekend is right around the corner. Can you smell it? Oh, yeah, I can smell it. But that doesn't smell like the weekend. Oh, no, come on. I know. I'm so mature. Listen, if by 46 years old, I haven't matured, I don't think I'm ever going to mature. It's too late. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, as we say. All right, let's see who's in the house here checking in. We've got Turani. Turani says, good morning, show with no namers. Here, ready to learn with you guys. Great. It's great to have you on board. Turani, you've been doing a wonderful job lately. And hopefully, aside from participating in all the sections as you've been doing, hopefully we'll get you to participate in next week's question of the week. Yeah. I urge you, instar. So I urge you all to participate if you want to improve your speaking. There's our buddy, Born to Iron Man. What's up, Born to Iron Man? How's it hanging? He says, hi there, friends. How are things doing? Everything's good over here, buddy. Can't complain. There's Elena. We're going to hear from Elena today. Hello, Elena. Welcome aboard. Elena says, my eyes are open, full of hoping, no more moping. Good morning, everyone. It's Friday. Now, Elena, I'm going to rap it. My eyes are open, full of hoping, no more moping. Good morning, everyone under the sun. Hey. So great words. And I love how you omitted the G. That's what we do. We always omit that G. I never say hoping. My eyes are full. My eyes are open, full of hoping. Never. It rhymes with open. Excellent, Elena. No more moping. And this is a great word, to mope. It's when you're like dragging your heels, rastreando un poco, desanimado, andando un poco tristón, no? So no more moping. And good morning, Elena. We are off to a wonderful start there. Great job. All right, let's see. Elena says, I don't need to take any syrup to open my appetite before having lunch. I'll give you some advice. Oh, okay. So let's look at, this is the pop quiz. Let's look at each one. So I don't need to take any syrup. Syrup. Is this a medicine? You mean cough syrup? Or do you mean maple syrup? Porque eso va a depender si es take or have. So I don't need to take any syrup. Then in that case, Elena, you're talking about medicine. No tengo que tomar un jarabe de tos. I don't need to take any syrup to open my appetite before having lunch. Interesting. And you can say to open your appetite, but we've got another way, a totally native way, que suena como la palabra mojado. De hecho, antes de verlo escrito, yo pensaba que era mojar el apetito, wet your appetite. Pero es como mojado, pero con una H. O sea, son homófonos. Wet. So to whet my appetite. That's the perfect. Es un collocation. All right, Elena, let's see. Number 2. She says, I'll give you some advice. Hear me out. Great. And hear me out es escúchame bien, escúchame hasta el final, ¿no? Presta atención. I'll give you some advice. And you didn't fall into the trap. The mistake is, I've heard a lot of people say advices. In English, it's advice. Whether you're going to tell somebody one thing or 20 things, let me give you some advice. Okay? We never say an advice. We never say advices. It's just some advice. Apréndetelo con some. And that's exactly how Elena used it, by the way. I'll give you some advice. Hear me out. And the last one, she says, I'm used to going on roller coasters. And you're used to avoiding common mistakes. Great job, Elena. Who else is in the house? We've got Born to Iron Man. And he says, after having breakfast, you have to take your vitamins pill. You know what? You don't have to say pill. Pill ahí es sobra. Your vitamins. Las vitaminas. Okay? Now, if you're British, you say vitamins. Vitamins. You have to take your vitamins. Americans say vitamins. So after having breakfast, you have to take your vitamins. Excellent. Number 2, I'm going to give you some pieces of advice. It's correct, but it's not natural. I would just say some advice. You're adding extra words, extra syllables, and nobody would say, I'm going to give you, pieces of advice, some pieces of advice. I would just go directamente a, da igual si le vas a decir una, ¿qué más da? If you're going to tell them one thing or 20 things, let me give you some advice. Okay? Y ahí no te limites también a darle solo uno. Now, as Born to Iron Man pointed out, you can make it countable, right? By saying, let me give you a piece of advice. De hecho, es más natural decirlo, Born to Iron Man, como un singular que usar pieces of advice, porque ahí ya, let me give you some advice. So let me give you a piece of advice, o directamente para los dos, let me give you some advice, some tips, some pointers. The verb is to advise. I want you guys to pronounce it with me. Let me advise you. Que no es tan natural, al menos ahí usar el verbo. Let me give you some advice. Y fijaos, I don't say let me, I said let me. Let me give you some advice. All right, and Born to Iron Man's last one, I'm get used to ride on roller coaster. Oops, ow, oh no. All right, so the translation was estoy acostumbrado. So I'm used to más el ing. I'm used to riding on roller coasters. Y el on no hace falta. Riding roller coasters, montándome. So the only thing is you say I'm get used to. So tendría que ser I'm getting used to riding on roller coasters. Pero ahí es me estoy acostumbrando. So I think I said, no me acuerdo ahora. I think I said estoy acostumbrado. So just be careful. You don't mix those up, guys. To be used to get used to, both when they are followed by a verb, that verb is in the gerund. All right, Durani. Durani says, I have to have coffee before taking the drug. It's correct. It just sounds... Suena muy fuerte, como... ¿Qué estás tomando? PCP? Before taking my medicine. Si queremos decir mi medicina, then before taking my medicine. All right, number 2. I'm going to give you a piece of advice. But I said unos consejos. So te has quedado corto ahí, right? It's great, but this is exactly what I wanted to look at. The usage of advice. And also, as we just said, we have food and drink, and we take medicine. I remember the first few times I heard this mistake. I had students tell me, Alberto, let's go take a coffee. I'm like, I prefer to pay for it, you know? I don't want to take it, you know? And then I realized, claro, para ellos tomar medicina, tomar comida, same thing. All right, let's see. In the last one, I'm used to riding roller coasters. Great job. Dudani, dudani. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to go to a quick commercial break right now. I can't believe it. We have flown through the first part of the show. We'll be right back with the rest of today's show with no name. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 2 of today's show with no name on Vaughn Radio, where English is exciting. It's interactive. Don't forget to download our free app, and this way you can catch all of our amazing programs. You've got the Probo Show with Rob Grams. What a great way to start your day with energy, with oomph, un poco de ganas, energía. And that's something that Rob has always had. You've also got Richard Vaughn. I mean, oh man, the greatest teacher in Spain, maybe in the world. Then you've got Fitz with No Excuses, another top tier teacher. And then after today's show, you've got Jimena and Nacho in Test Your English, followed by the Lunchtime Show with Rob and Andy. Then you've got Speak Up with Ruby. After that, you've got Let's Get Random with Jules Linares. The Salad with Dave Boys. Kyle Miller's Drive Time. Frankly Speaking with Chris Frank. And the Hour to Empower is back with Jessica. So download the app and learn English with us every day. All right, folks, it is time for the Say What soundbite. Yeah, say what? What? All right, amigos. It's your Say What soundbite here on the show with no name. And as always, we're going to hear a famous person speaking now. And I want you guys to tell me what you heard in your best English. So we'll start with the Say What soundbite. We've also got to check a few more answers, a few more people who have participated in our pop quiz. Then we've got our spelling bee. We've got homophones. Name that lyric, name that movie, double trouble. We've got a lot to cover on today's show. So let's put the pedal to the metal. I'm going to give you the Say What soundbite here for the first time. Please write down what you hear.
Actually, I feel that a star owes it to her public to bring the public into her life. The fans feel that they kind of own you, and if you kept your life a complete secret, it wouldn't be fair to them.
All right. I mean, you can't speak any clearer than that, I think. That's crystal clear. And all right, well, I'll give you a second just to digest that. And we're going to hear it now for the second time. Jot down as much as you can, and then I'm interested in hearing your take.
Actually, I feel that a star owes it to her public to bring the public into her life. The fans feel that they kind of own you, and if you kept your life a complete secret, it wouldn't be fair to them.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. Don't forget to get your copy, folks. It's my latest book. This Book is the Shit. It's available at vaughantienda.com. And don't forget, we've got a lot of other materials right now and special offers, special deals going on for the upcoming World Book Day. And in order to celebrate that in style, well, you've got tons of material. So stop by courses, grupovon.com/cursos destacados. And if you're looking for books and special deals on books, that's vaughantienda.com. Well, books, materials, resources. All right, let's see. We've got some other students participating in our pop quiz. There's Lupe. Good morning, Lupe. How you doing? Great to have you on board. Lupe says, morning, guys. I need to have some fruit before taking a painkiller. Yes, you got it. To have food, to take medicine. And I love that word, matadolores, a painkiller. Any Judas Priest fans in the house? He is the painkiller. Great song. Great guitar riffs in the song. All right, great, Lupe. Number 2, Let me give you some piece of advice. No, ahí, mira, quita el piece of y quédate con some. Y eliminamos unas sílabas. Let me give you some advice. Think things over before talking. Great one. That's some great advice, too. I like it. Lupe actually used the exercise to give us some advice. Think things over before talking. I love it. And then she says, I'm used to riding roller coasters. Yes. Great job. I'm used to riding. Con ING. All right, there's Chris Valrol checking in. Hello, Chris. How are you? Chris says, morning, dear show with no namers. I took a pill in Ibiza. Oh, sorry, that's not what you said. But I just read I took a pill and me salió del alma. I took a pill in Ibiza to show Avicii I was cool. But when I finally got older, felt 10 years older. But fuck it, it was something to do. She says, I took a pill this morning and now I'm having a cup of tea. Excellent, Chris. Then she says, I'm going to give you some advice. Excellent. Number 2, perfect. And the last one, I'm used to riding roller coasters. And you're used to using that structure, it seems. Great job, Chris. Great job, Lupe. Let's see. We've also got Elena. Elena's participating in our Say What soundbite. Let's see what Elena had to say. She says, a young woman who might be an actress or a singer expresses that a pop star, una estrella de pop, owes itself to their public and shouldn't left its life out of the public eye. Well, Elena, you've got the idea. I just need to correct a couple things. I just need to make a couple adjustments there, okay? But that's the idea. Great job. So a young woman who might be an actress or singer or an entertainer, you can say, eso engloba todo, it encompasses everything, expresses that a pop star owes her public, owes herself then, or themselves, pero no itself, porque itself es para una cosa. So a pop star owes himself or herself or themselves to their public and shouldn't leave, porque to left out is el pasado, no? La tercera columna is leave, left, and shouldn't leave their life out of the public eye. So I would use themselves and their, and then that doesn't matter if it's male or female. All right, so excellent observation, just a couple adjustments over there. Does anybody else want to give us their feedback on today's Say What soundbite? Going once, going twice. All right, well, let's kick off with a little question of the week. Question of the week. Firstly, thanks again to all of you who participated. Thank you. Today, I wanted to hear your take on thrill rides, because I know people like me who just can't get enough. We just can't get enough. We just can't get enough thrill rides. We just can't get enough. And then I know people who are like, keep me away from those loud, obnoxious, annoying things. And I get it. Different strokes for different folks. So we're going to hear from one of our students, one of your fellow students who participates week after week from Chicago. Well, she's from Spain, but she's living in Chicago. Let's hear from Chris.
Hi, Alberto. This is Christina, Chicago. I'm recording this, from the gym. I'm a gym rat, and so I finished, teaching, and I came. So I used to live, 45 minutes away from Six Flags. What Six Flags is one of the most, famous theme parks, in the United States. There are several in different states. I hate rides. So I used to go every single day, but it's just because, we bought, the season pass, that it costs I'm talking about, 5 years ago, 120, and then you can have, like lunch, dinner, and snacks. But, I just stay, like looking at my kids, like and waiting for them. I hate, like they're waiting the lines, the heights. I'm scared of heights or afraid of heights. But I really like, the performances that I used to be, in the park and Halloween. That's the only thing that I like, from the theme parks. Apart from that, rides are not my cup of tea. And I get it that you're a geek, but not me. So I leave you all the rest for you. Thank you so much. Big hat.
All right, excellent job, Christina. Wow, you sound great. And she was multitasking. She used some totally native vocabulary. She said, I'm a gym rat. Alguien que vive en el gimnasio. A gym rat. She says that she lived right near a Six Flags park. Let's put it this way. Six Flags, the closest thing I would say to Six Flags in Spain would maybe be Parque Warner. It's got big roller coasters. It's got the Batman and, the DC theming. Is it DC? I always get confused with my IPs, my intellectual properties. But I grew up at Six Flags, New Jersey, Six Flags Great Adventure, as it's called. And that's about an hour from New York City. And I used to go there all the time as a kid. But I remember the lines were insane. Even if you love rides, I don't think anybody likes waiting online. Nobody likes to line up, to queue up. And I remember, speaking of Six Flags, the first time when they first launched, pun intended, when they first launched the Batman roller coaster, which was many, many years ago. It's an inverted roller coaster where the track is above you. If you've been to Parque Warner, that's a copy of the one. Okay, so it's the same kind of deal. And I remember waiting, and I'm not kidding, 4 hours to go on a ride that lasted less than a minute. And I've got to say, I don't know if I would do it again, but I do remember that coaster being, and I've ridden it recently, an amazing coaster. But these days, if you've got a couple extra bucks, you can jump the lines. They've got these fast passes and all that. But, oh, man, I think even us geeks, que cuidado, creo que dijiste geeks, even us geeks or thusies, as they say, enthusiasts, we don't like waiting online. None of us do. Also, if you're afraid of heights, you're not going to want to go to Six Flags Great Adventure because King Dakar, when this is being recorded, is the tallest roller coaster in the world. But that is soon to be topped because they're building something in Qiddiya. I don't know how you say it, in Saudi Arabia. And she said they had a season pass, so she ended up going there. I imagine you would get sick of it too if you went every weekend. The weekends are the time when most people can go, but they're also obviously the busiest time. So you have bigger lines, more crowded shows, and that's the part Chris said she loves. She said she loves the shows, the parades, and I imagine, Chris, if you like that, then you like the theming too, no, la parte temática. All right, well, great answer, wonderful job. Let's see what Elena had to say.
Good morning, AA. It's Elena here. A shout out to my classmates too. Regarding your question, you know what? My answer is a no-brainer. It's definitely a big no thank you. Don't count me in, guys. I would ride roller coasters as a child and feel dizzy, like sick in my stomach. So what's the point of paying for a ride that will make you feel scared out of your mind, scream at the top of your lungs, and pray to God to be over soon? I would creep on for dear life and close my eyes and feel the fall once you go up the slope. That feeling of falling down into the void. No, it makes me pee in my pants. So, as for me, there's no doubt in my mind. I wouldn't go on one of these for all the tea in China. You can bet your bottom dollar. Yeah. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.
Wow, Elena, you sound excellent. You sound awesome, Elena. Seriously, you use some totally native vocabulary. You said a no-brainer. A no-brainer es algo que es obvio, algo que es evidente. It's a no-brainer. It's simple. It's obvious, she said. She said, no way, Jose. It's not her cup of tea. And then she used another totally native expression. Not for all the tea in China, ni si me dieras todo el té en China lo haría. And she said, it's that first hill. You use the word slope, but a lot of times we call it a hill in this case. That first hill, that's the best part, Elena. But again, Chris, Elena, thank you so much because, well, that's 2 fewer people online for Batman Gotham City Escape, for example. So it's great that you don't like thrill rides. It makes my my wait time shorter. So I appreciate that. And then she says you fall into the void. Great word there. El vacío, la nada. And then she said, you can bet your bottom dollar. Puedes apostar todo el dinero que tienes that she is not going to be going on any rides anytime soon. So that's interesting. Right now, we have listened to 2 different answers here from 2 different students, and both of you have agreed that thrill rides are not your cup of tea. So is anybody here going to be on my side? I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take a little breather right now, un suspiro, and we'll do a challenge, and then we'll go to a commercial break, and then we'll come back and we'll hear from other students. So let's do today's double trouble. Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble. All right, amigos, it's double trouble over here, and let's see what we've got going on over here. You've got to use the same word twice over here. I think this one's going to be pretty easy, to be honest. In fact, I expect the majority of you, because I know your level. You participate every day, so I know your levels. I think all of you are going to get this. Prove me wrong, but I think all of you are going to get today's double trouble. But very quickly, Chris Valrol had something to say about today's Say What soundbite. She says, a woman who belongs to the show business. Aquí quitamos el the, Chris, to show business, right? She belongs to show business. Y cuidado, tienes una H de más en la palabra business. Has puesto bushiness. She thinks a star owes herself to her public, to her audience. Great job. Absolutely. All right, amigos. So are you ready for today's double trouble challenge? Again, I think everybody's going to get this one. Vamos a cubrir lo básico. Okay, vamos a cubrir lo básico, lo esencial. Okay. No juzgues por apariencias. There you go. There's your double trouble. So vamos a cubrir o repasar lo básico, lo esencial. You can be creative there. Nunca, as we say in English, you can say nunca o no juzgues por apariencias. That's an idiomatic expression in English that I'm sure many of you are familiar with. Hopefully, you guys will be able to figure it out. And you're lucky because the last couple double troubles, I think they've been double troubles and triple troubles. So today, you only have to use one word twice in today's double trouble, my amigos. But right now, we've got to go to another commercial break. I can't believe we are halfway through the show. Or as Bon Jovi would say, oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. We're halfway there. Ya estamos la mitad del camino. I see we've got some students who have already figured out today's double trouble. Awesome. Oh, wait. But... Oh, man. It's a technicality, but they're both a little bit wrong. They're missing one itty-bitty letter. Una letra pequeñita que le falta ahí. All right, well, I urge you all to participate in the double trouble during our commercial break. When we come back, we're going to do today's Say What soundbite. You'll hear it for the third time. Then we'll check the answers to our double trouble. We'll listen to more students as they participate in the question of the week. We've got movies, we've got music, and lots of fun stuff. Also, now's a good time to remind you, we've got some really good deals going on right now at vontienda.com for upcoming World Book Day. It's vontienda.com vontienda.com, just Google it. But if you want to find out about the deals we've got going on in the Vaughn world, that is grupovon.com/ you know it, cursos destacados. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 3 of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. So many people participating, so many people learning English with us. Don't forget, guys, we've also got a YouTube page where you can get tons of videos. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter, or X, as they call it these days. All right, amigos, we've got a lot to do, including hearing from you guys, our show with no-namers. Let's see, we've got a lot of people participating in our double trouble. Okay, I see you guys have made the adjustment, the necessary adjustment. It was just a little detail. But remember, folks, the devil is in the detail. Esto significa todo está en el detalle. We say the devil, el demonio, está en el detalle. How many idiomatic expressions have we looked at today? Tons, I think. And some of them thanks to you guys in your comments. We looked at a lot of totally native words. Elena used the word to mope. She did a little rhyme for us, a little rap. All right, folks. Well, let's listen to your Say What soundbite. This is the third listen. I think everybody should be able to get this one, especially because you have two more listens. So here it is for the third time.
Actually, I feel that a star owes it to her public to bring the public into her life. The fans feel that they kind of own you, and if you kept your life a complete secret, it wouldn't be fair to them.
¿Conoces Weekend Town? La nueva iniciativa de Vaughan.
Pues no.
Es un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés y es nuevísimo.
A ver, cuéntame más.
Tendrás una inmersión lingüística total durante 2 días. Un total de 24 horas hablando con angloparlantes de todo el mundo.
¡Wow! ¡Qué interesante!
Ganarás confianza y soltura a la hora de comunicarte en inglés. Mejorarás tu comprensión auditiva y tus habilidades conversacionales en una situación de comunicación real en inglés. Ven a Weekend Town y te sorprenderás con todo lo que puede avanzar tu inglés en un fin de semana. Weekend Town de Vaughan. Un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés. That's right, amigos. It's Weekend Town. It is Vaughan Town's little cousin. All right, let's see what we've got over here. We've got a lot of people participating in our Double Trouble. The first person was Elena, and she says, let's cover the basic. Now, Elena, you're just missing an S. It's let's cover the basics. Another way to say cover too is to go over. Muy común, ¿no? Repasar. Let's cover the basics, the bare bones. That's another way to say it. The bare bones, the basics. Don't judge a book by its cover. All right, well, I'm going to give you an applause, Elena. But you're just missing an S. And Born to Iron Man, same mistake over there. Interesting. Let's see. Chris Valrol, she says she got it right on the first go. Let's cover the basics. Vamos a cubrir lo básico. No, vamos a repasar lo básico, which would be the basics in English, because basic would be the adjective. This is a basic structure. ¿Ves? So the basics would be las bases. And it reminds me of another expression in English, to cover your bases. Have you heard this one? If you haven't, this is referenced in the FYI episode on baseball. To cover your bases, or to cover all the bases, es considerar todas las posibilidades, tomar todas las precauciones. It means that you have thought about every possible outcome, todos los desenlaces que puedan salir. So to cover your bases, a little bit more, well, similar to covering. Si lo tienes todo pensado, organizado, you've covered the basics, or you've covered the bases, okay? And the expression is don't judge a book by its cover. So excellent job. The first one to get it 100% right, first time, your movie queen, Chris Valrol. All right, let's hear from, in fact, Chris Valrol. What a nice segue. I didn't plan that, Chris, but you're next. So here's Chris Valrol telling us her take on thrill rides.
Morning, Channel Namers. It's Chris Van Roll. My take on thrill rides is, attractions are not very attractive to me. When I was a youngster, I used to ride on the grasshopper, and it was great. But I've never ridden a roller coaster or other attractions that entail a high adrenaline consumption. Why? I don't know. Maybe it has to do with the fact I don't love heights, or perhaps because sometimes I get powerful emotions at work, and that's enough for me. Anyway, I don't rule out the possibility of doing it one day because maybe I'm missing out something that I'd love. Thank you. Bye bye.
All right, Chris. I am going to volunteer to take you on your first coaster. You want to go on your first coaster with me? And I'm that guy who's, oh man, I know every element of every coaster. Chris, whenever you're ready, you let me know, and we are going to ride, ¿con cuál empezamos? Maybe we'll ride Superman first before we go to Gotham City Escape, because Batman Gotham City Escape is even scary for me. I mean, I remember when I wrote it, the girl who came into my seat after, she said, voy a salir del asiento. Am I going to come out of my seat? And I said, oh yeah, definitely. I was like, if I came flying out of my seat 20 times and you're like a quarter, you weigh a quarter of what I weigh. And she turned white. But I didn't want to lie to the girl. You really do come out of your seat. And since there's no shoulder restraints, it's only a lap bar. Tenemos el vocabulario aquí. Shoulder restraints, los que vienen de arriba, sobre los hombros, and the lap bar. And this one goes upside down and all that jazz, but there's no shoulder restraints. So even if you're protected in there, you don't feel like it. So I think I know the perfect first coaster for you. It's a B&M. B&M is Bollinger and Malibard. I don't know how to pronounce the architects, the designers' names, but it's B&M. And their coasters are famous for being fun, but not too crazy in general. Okay, they've got some that are, but in general. So Superman might be your first coaster, Chris, I think. I wouldn't go to Batman Gotham City Escape as the first one. So let's see. Just be careful. You said is or its. Remember, is, its, right? Cuidado con esa I latina, que no se cuele ahí, right? Itis or its, right? Itis or its or its. It's that sound. So just be careful with that one. I know it's not an easy one. Very nice pun that you use there too. Very punny. And who doesn't love the grasshopper? El saltamontes. I mean, that's a classic. Just be careful too. Your pronunciation, I think you said powerful. It's ow, powerful, ouch, powerful. And it's true. She goes, I get enough adrenaline in my job. And just be careful. I like that you used to miss out, but you're just missing one. You're missing a little preposition there, to miss out on. I don't know if I'm missing out on something. So solo te faltaba el on ahí, and excellent job. Wonderful. Also, a nice round of applause for Elena. She got today's Say What soundbite after just 3 listens. Solo 3 escuchas. Only 3 listens, and she nailed it. Excellent job. Wow. So right now, we have heard 3 audios from 3 different students, and there's nobody on my team here? Really? Hey, great. Again, lower wait times, fewer people online. Great. But that's weird. I thought I would have some more enthusiasts over here. Especially because Spain has got some really good theme parks and some good rides. So interesting. Quite interesting, I have to be honest. All right. Well, what else have we got? Chris says, oh my God, my idea is to try it when I'm 80, just in case. Well, no, I can't. Chris, I'm not going to be around when you're 80. I don't know if I'm going to live that long. And I don't know if I'll be riding coasters. Hey, if it's up to me, yeah. But my doctor might say, hey, listen, dude, you're 80. No more coasters. It's enough. Elena says, we're in the same page. Just be careful. I love that you're using an idiomatic expression, but just be careful. The preposition is we are on the same page. We see eye to eye. Estamos de acuerdo. All right, let's see who's up next in today's question of the week. We're going to hear from Kubla.
Hey, it's Kubla. First off, and to answer Double A's question, in late 2018, Mr. Vong began streaming on Instagram, and I didn't have an account. I tried signing up with my name, but they wouldn't let me because of security reasons. At the time, I was reading an article about Mongol conqueror Genghis Khan, so I tried his grandson's name, Kublai Khan, and it worked, so it stuck. Regarding thrill rides, I have to admit it's not my cup of tea. When I was little, I was taken to an amusement park and I started hearing people shouting their hairs off. It struck me as a voluntary torment. I thought it was weird that people were willing to ride those machines and get scared to death. Some of them, riding higher, were puking on users underneath who, in turn, got mad at them and vowed to sue the roller coaster owner. Don't get me wrong, I can see why some people seek amusement by riding high and wide and getting away from the daily routine. Nonetheless, I'd rather watch a documentary on wildlife in Tanzania. Thank you. Truly yours.
All right, Kubla. Yeah, because I asked him last week, I said, Kubla, you told us how you got another nickname, but you didn't tell us how you got the nickname Kublai Khan. And now he just told us that story. And guys, now that is officially 4 students and 4 of you. It's not that you don't, that it's not your cup of tea. It's you're not even considering going on thrill rides. Again, thank you. Thank you. But wow, you know what? Judging by your personalities, I thought you guys would like to try some thrill rides, especially now, because you know what? When I was a kid, it was like big, fast, hard, and now it's big, fast, hard, and well themed. O sea, aparte es la temática. And I think that, that brings you to another time and place. So we've come a long way in this industry. And also, I know what you mean, Kubla, about lawsuits and things. I mean, I imagine one of the biggest expenses for any amusement park or theme park is insurance, right? You've got people swinging around upside down. You need to have some good insurance, at least in the United States. A killer policy, no pun intended. Oh, no. Killer policy, not a word you want to hear associated with roller coasters. And again, you got to be smart, like with everything, Are you going to, maybe you like zip lines. Are you going to do a zip line in a country that doesn't really have, any oversight? Nadie que está mirando cómo van las cosas. I know it's not the same, for example, for me to go on a ride at Parque de Atracciones. It could be the same ride, okay? Let's say the Tilt-A-Whirl, que es uno que da vueltas. I could go on that ride at Parque de Atracciones, and I can go on it at a fair, and I would feel a lot safer at Parque de Atracciones. Why? Excuse me. Have you ever seen at some of these fairs, las ferias, how the rides are held up? They have like 4 wooden blocks and a rock. There, I'm worried about safety. So obviously, when I say thrill rides, I'm talking about, ones that have passed inspection and are inspected every morning by the attendants, obviously with ones that have rigorous, at least guidelines that the state or that the country puts forth so that, it protects people. Again, you've got people going over 100 kilometers per hour, flipping them upside down. You want to make sure that they are safe. And that's, I think, such an important thing. safety. And not just safety, but smoothness. Que sea suave. Because before, roller coasters were harder, faster. But now the harder part, nobody wants harder. Nobody wants their head to be banged around against the shoulder restraints. Nobody wants to, go around a curb and, kind of like, knock their head. No, everybody wants to be thrown around, but smoothly. So that's something now, too. You'll see these new coasters are a lot smoother than these old wooden ones. All right, who's up next? A student who always participates, and I'm really proud of her. I've been watching her improve time after time. Here she is, Nuria.
Howdy, Sewino namers. This is Nuria. As for this week's question, what's my take on thrill rides? My answer is yeah, indeed. I'm a thrill seeker, and I'm not kidding. Although sometimes rides expose you to, let's say, good fear before the ride, when you are on it, you feel a tingle of sensation passing through your body, and at the same time, you release a lot of tension as you scream with excitement. This topic also reminds me of the joy I felt when I went to Disneyland Paris. I was on Cloud 9, but I have to say that it was the only place where I got dizzy, and it wasn't the easiest ride, the one with the little caps that you go round and around in circles. Apart from that, I was thrilled to bits. Take care, amigos. Thank you.
Wow, thrilled to bits. Nuria. A lot of totally natives in there, Nuria. Excellent job. And finally, I found somebody who's going to come with me to the theme parks. Oh, man. Nuria, that's great. And if you have any tips about Disneyland Paris, let me know. But Nuria, we are definitely on the same page. I love rides. I can't get enough, but I can't go on the spinny ones. No way. Oh, man, I can't even go on the merry-go-round at the kids' park. El pequeño, el tío vivo que tienen los niños, sin los caballos, whatever you call that, el spinner, I don't know what you call it. We call that a merry-go-round as well. Obviously, you'll know from context if it's the big one. So, Nuria, you and I, we can go together. We are both thrill seekers. That's a great word you used over there. A thrill seeker. And she said she got dizzy on the teacups. Nosotros los llamamos las tacitas de café. She got dizzy on the teacups. And I'm going to tell you something. I can't go on the teacups without getting queasy. Toma, otra palabra. So dizzy means mareado. Queasy means mareado con ganas de vomitar. So queasy is a good word to know. Empieza con una Q, queasy. So she said some great vocabulary too. She said, indeed, claro que sí. Indeed, I'm a thrill seeker. She also said she was on cloud 9. Also remember this, guys. I mean, this is a general rule here. Disney is not famous for their thrill rides, right? Disney is famous more for their theming, right? For their experience rides. Whereas Universal and Six Flags, they're more known for thrill rides. So, you can go to Disney if you can afford it. It's fucking expensive. And I'm not even talking, we didn't pay for the tickets, but I know how much a hot dog costs there and all that jazz. And, they're the kings of upselling. To upsell es venderte más de lo que venías a comprar. To upsell. It's very common. You'll see it in restaurants in the United States. So, hey, I'll take a beer. Well, would you like it in our super collector's glass? It's really cool, and it's available for a limited time. Ahora le clavas por otros $10. Right? So Disney, they're the kings of upselling. Sell, you already know. Sell es vender. To upsell es venderles más de lo que venían. Okay? Let's see. Lupe's got something to say. She says, I used to riding almost every rides at the amusement parks, and I loved it. So careful here, Lupe. We're mixing things up here. Do you want to say, I'm used to riding? Estoy acostumbrado. Te falta el I am. I'm used to riding almost every ride, sin ese, at the amusement parks, and I love it. But as time passes, I'm turning into a more cautious person. I tried a few years ago, Superman the Ride. Well, I got to say something. I haven't become more cautious. In fact, the older I get, I'm looking for more and more thrills, chasing that adrenaline. People like us, they call us thrill seekers, as Nuria pointed out, or also another way to say it is adrenaline junkies. Junkies de la adrenalina. All right, and last but not least, we're going to hear from Paco.
Hi, my fellow classmates. How you keeping up? I hope you're doing great. Without any further ado, my take on through rides might be that they are not right up my alley. Why? Because I consider myself a scaredy cat. To be honest, I'm afraid of my own shadow when it comes to riding on those humongous and behemoth and whopping rides. I have no idea. I haven't the foggiest idea what is trying to ride on the nube, or on the Ferris wheel, and all kind of rides. Only the bumpy cars is my limit when it comes to dealing with rides. I don't consider myself an adrenaline junkie. Why? Because when I was in my early childhood, I had an awful experience when I rode in the grasshopper ride, saltamontes in Spanish, and they have to stop the ride on the spot. I was the talk of the town for a long time. Many fellow classmates poked fun at me. That was stuck in my mind. And to be honest, I will never try it again. A stitch in time saves 9, just in case. It's not my cup of tea in this case. Okay, that will be all. Thank you very much. I hope to see you next week. Thank you.
Great job, Paco. I've got a piece of paper here where I'm writing down notes, and I ran out of space because you said so many idiomatic expressions. But we're going to take a look at those idiomatic expressions after this quick commercial break. Folks, wonderful job. What can I say? Hats off to each and every one of you. We'll be right back with the rest of today's show. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 4 of today's show with no name. Thank you so much, folks, for learning and laughing with me. Thanks for taking the time to participate in our question of the week and all our different sections. All right, Paco, let's take a look at some idiomatic expressions that Paco said. because Paco is in my weekly classes and he always blows his fellow students away with his knowledge of idiomatic expressions. He said, without any further ado, sin más, he said, I'm a scaredy cat, un miedica, un cagón. He also said, I haven't the foggiest, no tengo ni la más mínima, la remota, I think you say. Then he used other words for big. He said, humongous, behemoth. These are ways to say big. He also said he had a traumatic experience where he was the talk of the town, la comidilla del pueblo. That stinks. I get it. Once you're traumatized, one thing's being scared, another thing is being traumatized. He said he's also afraid of his own shadow, una expresión que usamos. And then he said a stitch in time saves 9. So that means prevention is the best medicine. Un punto al momento adecuado te ahorra 9 más tarde. All right, amigos, it's time for Homophones on the show with no name.
Homophones on the name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, it's homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. 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 Show with no name. Show with no name. The show with no name.
All right, amigos, welcome to today's homophone section where we take a look at words that tend to be a little tricky, words that I've come across that can cause some issues with students. So what we do here is we look at these words and all their many meanings. We take a look at their pronunciation and other little nuances that we may come across. So let's see if you know today's 2 very common words. The first word is hijo. Hijo is the first word. Hijo, okay? The second word is sol. So if you said, mi hijo está al sol, would the word hijo and sol sound the same in English? If you know it, you can participate here in our group. And in the meantime, I'm going to give you guys the Say What soundbite. Here you go. You've got it for the 4th and final time. Elena got it already. So great job, Elena. Here, this one's for the rest of you.
Actually, I feel that a star owes it to her public to bring the public into her life. The fans feel that they kind of own you, and if you kept your life a complete secret, it wouldn't be fair to them.
¿Qué tiene que ver la Universidad de Oxford con Vaughan? Pues muchísimo. Es una alegría anunciar que Vaughan ha sido certificado como centro examinador de Oxford Test of English. A partir del próximo mes de marzo 2023, podrás hacer los exámenes de Oxford Test of English en los centros de Vaughan. Si quieres más información sobre esta iniciativa de Vaughan y Oxford, puedes ver más en nuestra página web, grupovaughan.com. O bien síguenos en redes sociales para más información. Oxford Test of English con Vaughan.
Brilliant!
Absolutely brilliant, folks. You can get more information about that over at grupovaughn.com/cursos destacados. All right, let's take a look at our students who are participating in our homophone section. The first person to participate is Elena, and she says, are hands down homophones. Well, first, let me give you a totally native. hands down, que nadie lo va a discutir, indiscutible. They are definitely, they're hands down homophones. All right. Born to Iron Man says the two words, and he says they sound alike. Turani says, I think and are homophones. Grace is pretty sure of it. She says, and sound alike. Lupe agrees. All right, well, let me say both words. My son is in the sun. Absolutely. Now, I'm going to ask you another question here that we looked at last week. ¿Qué pasa si cogemos esta palabra hijo, son, y lo ponemos al final de un apellido? Como John, ¿no? John más S-O-N es muy común. Then what does it sound like? Then is it a homophone? No, it isn't. So, cuando es hijo, sí. Pero cuando es final de un nombre, listen. Johnson. Johnson, where are you? Simpson, where are you? O.J. Simpson. Cuando el S-O-N es el final de un apellido, suena como pecado. Sin. Simpson, I told you not to sin. So great job, my amigos. And now it's time for Name That Movie. Name That Movie. Yes. All right, amigos, it's Name That Movie here on the show with no name. And let's see if you guys can figure out today's movie that I've prepared for you. Here's the synopsis, and we'll see if you guys can figure it out. A hapless loser sells his soul to the devil in exchange for 7 wishes, but has trouble winning over the girl of his dreams. Okay? So a hapless. Have you heard the word hapless before? Hapless means unlucky. Okay? Hapless. Desafortunado. A hapless loser sells his soul, vende su alma, to the devil in exchange for, en cambio de, 7 wishes, 7 deseos, but has trouble winning over, fíjate la preposición, ganarse a alguien, winning over the girl of his dreams. And ladies and gentlemen, our movie queen strikes back, Chris Valrol. The movie is called Bedazzled, Deslumbrado. I don't know if it's called that in Spanish, but it's a movie that came out in 1967, and it stars Peter Cocinillas, Peter Cook, Dudley Mass, Dudley Moore. All right, I'll stop. Well, actually, it was the theatrical movie debut for both of these famous actors, Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. And although Raquel, no me sonaba bien eso. Although Raquel Welch is featured in all the promo material for the movie, the posters and all that jazz, she's only on screen for 7 minutes. 7 minutes. But she was the draw. She's a knockout. A knockout. Está buenísima. Raquel Welch. All right, well, let's take a look at the scene from the movie Bedazzled. I hope you guys are bedazzled on today's show. So George says, after having gotten Stanley's attention, después de haber cogido su atención, by mentioning £1 million, un millón de libras. And he says, your great-great-great-grandfather, Ephraim Moon, sailed to Australia So zarpar, to sail, sailed to Australia in 1782. In 1782, on a ship of the line, he set himself up as an apothecary. Apothecary, now we say a pharmacist. The business flourished. Floreció. Sounds the same, right? And by the time he died, it was worth something in the region of £2,000, a large amount in those days. And Stanley Moon says, yes, yes. And George says, your great-great-grandfather, so your great-grandfather, bisabuelo, cada great, pues le separas una generación. Your great-great-grandfather, Cedric Moon, by skillful management and careful husbandry, siendo marido, increased that sum. The sum is la suma. Makes sense, right? Sum, suma. Suena igual que sum, S-O-M-E. So he increased that sum 100-fold. Have you heard this before? Well, fold is doblar, right? Plegar algo. But if you say tenfold, es por 10, multiplicado por ese número. So 100-fold is multiplicado por 100. This, in turn, was inherited, heredado, by your great-grandfather Desmond Moon, who expanded, diversified, and built up, construyó, acumuló, and built up a personal fortune of well over £1 million. And he got his attention there when he mentioned the money. And then Stanley answers, oh, it's a lot of money. And George says, a great deal of money. A great deal is another way of saying muchísimo. We did a great deal of work today. We looked at a great deal of idiomatic expressions. So a great deal of money, Mr. Moon. And this gigantic. Hey, we've looked at a lot of synonyms for big today. Thanks to Paco. He said humongous, behemoth, gigantic, whopping. Y una que me encanta, que es un híbrido. You've got the word gigantic and you've got the word enormous. Lo juntamos y tenemos ginormous, te lo juro. And this gigantic sum was inherited by your grandfather, Hubert Moon, who returned to London and frittered it away. To fritter away es malgastar, desperdiciar. Fritter away. And he frittered it away on wine, women, and loose living, viviendo la vida suelta. I think we all get what he's saying there. And then Stanley Moon says, where does that leave me then? Entonces, pues, ¿dónde estoy yo en esto? And George says, penniless, sin un duro, penniless and on the brink of suicide, y al borde, on the brink of suicide. And then he giggles. Una risita is a giggle. It's also the verb to giggle. All right, so great job, Chris Valrol. And folks, it's time for a little celebration on today's famous birthday trivia.
Birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Oi, oi, oi. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
All right, amigos, it's famous birthdays here on the show with no name. And as always, we're going to take a look at some birthday boys and girls today and see if you guys can figure out who these people are. All right, the first person, we haven't mentioned this person. I've got to be honest, we haven't mentioned this person yet. But quickly, Chris says, Google also helps. According to Wiki, it was Un Fausto Moderno in Spain. I know the version from 2000, Al Diablo con el Diablo. Okay. All right. To Hell with the Devil. Hey, that's a good title. Well, the first person, his name is a popular Indian, or I should say British dish. They say the British national dish, el plato nacional, is fish and chips. No, it's not. It's an Indian dish, and it's this guy's last name. And by the way, he's British. So where would you recognize this guy? Well, he was in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I think that's where a lot of people first saw him, where he played Dr. Frankenfooter. You know, Dr. Frankenfooter. And what do you call it? The Rocky Horror Show? The Rocky Horror Picture Show? Oh, man. It is a play. It's a movie. I've seen it on Broadway, but I've also seen the movie many, many times. And he's the one who plays the sweet transvestite from Transylvania. And I love the music from that. Really good music from this movie. What else has Tim Curry been in? He was also in the I already said the Rocky Horror Picture Show. He was in Legend. He was also in Annie. It's the hard knock life for us. It's the hard knock life for us. He was also the concierge in Home Alone 2. He was funny in that movie. He was in The Three Musketeers. He was in Times Square. He was in The Worst Witch. I remember him in that. Also, The Hunt for Red October, Congo, Charlie's Angels, Scary Movie 2, and really a talented triple threat. And last but not least, another English actor. Yes, yes. He's an English actor, comedian, and pianist. He was born today in 1935, and he died, or he passed away, in the year 2002. And this guy was really funny. He was a short little guy, muy bajito, and he got his start in the movie Bedazzled, which came out in 1967. Bedazzled? Deslumbrado? Does it ring a bell? All right, so I gave you this guy's name already just moments ago when we looked at our Name That Movie. All right? And what else? Well, he's been in so many other movies. Mickey and Maude. He also played Arthur in the title role for the movie Arthur as well. And yeah, that's it. Very funny guy. I think he was just funny to look at. And then he had a funny voice as well. And last but not least, she was fun to look at. So the other guys are funny to look at. Te ríes con ellos. Well, this woman is fun to look at. Divertido mirarla. Okay, I know it's a corny joke, but you'll be surprised with how many people mix up fun and funny. The first two guys are funny. The other woman, yeah, she's funny, but she looks like she's more fun. She was an American actress and Playboy playmate, a sex symbol of the 50s and early 60s, and she had a short-lived film career, but many people say she was typecast, encasillado, typecast. And her nickname was, in Hollywood, the smartest dumb blonde. The Smartest Dumb Blonde was her name, and she's been in so many movies. She was in Broadway plays and everything. And some movies you might know of hers: Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter? The Girl Can't Help It. Too Hot to Handle. Excuse me. Too Hot to Handle means, that's a great expression. Too hot to handle, no puedes tocarlo. Hay que tocarlo con guantes. And hot ahí es buena, demasiado buena para saber dónde cogerla. And you know who's doing a wonderful job? Speaking of buena, and I'm not talking about buena in the Spanish sense, I mean kicking ass in English, Chris Valrol. Buenísima. Number 1, Tim Curry. Number 2, Dudley Moore. And number 3, Jane Mansfield. And Jane Mansfield was today's Say What soundbite. And she says, actually, realmente, que no es actualmente. She says, actually, I feel that a star owes it to her public. Lo debe a su público. So this is interesting because it has owe, deber, and own, poseer. So a star owes it to her public to bring the public into her life. The fans feel that they kind of own you, como que te poseen de alguna manera. And if you kept your life a complete secret, it wouldn't be fair to them. So, folks, here we go. This is star of stage and screen, Jane Mansfield.
Actually, I feel that a star owes it to her public to bring the public into her life. The fans feel that they kind of own you, and if you kept your life a complete secret, it wouldn't be fair to them.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is. No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name. The show with no name, the show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name. The show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
Great job, everyone. Excellent job today and every day. Show with no namers. I just want to remind you to stay tuned because up next, you've got a lot of amazing shows all afternoon long, starting with Jimena and Nacho in Test Your English. Also, a quick reminder, stop by grupovon.com/cursos destacados. If you're looking for books, we've got a lot of deals going on now at vontienda.com. And again, if you haven't rated these shows, si no has valorado estos programas, do it. I know you can do it on Apple Podcasts. I'm not too sure about the other platforms. But again, thank you, thank you, thank you. And don't forget, you've got the FYI episode on teeth to sink your teeth into this weekend. All right, the song is from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's Sweet Transvestite from Transylvania. And this is birthday boy Tim Curry. Anybody getting hungry? Tim Curry from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And he starts out saying, how do you do? How'd you do? ¿Cómo te va? How do you do? I see you've met. He visto que has conocido my faithful handyman. My faithful, no, le tengo aquí, es de fiar. My faithful handyman, el que me hace de todo aquí, no, mi manitas, my handyman. He's just a little brought down. Está un poco de bajón because when you knocked, cuando tocasteis, he thought you were the candy man. Pensaba que eras el que traía los caramelos. Don't get strung out, no te estreses, by the way that I look. Don't judge a book by its cover. Hey, wait, we looked at that idiomatic expression in our Double Trouble. Don't judge a book by its cover. If you don't know the song, get ready to dance. You can sing along with me. Just Google Sweet Transvestite from Transylvania from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Thank you so much, everybody. An absolute pleasure, as always. I see met my
faithful.
Thanks again, amigos. Have a wonderful weekend.
He's just a little brought down. When you knocked, he thought